What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Tuesday. Now, let's get into the hot topics. Now, I'll start off today's show talking about something very sad. So, unfortunately, Robert Redford, the legendary Oscar-winning actor and director, has died. Redford's rep Cindy Berger tells TMZ that Robert passed away Tuesday morning at his home in Sundance, Utah. Berger says Robert was surrounded by the people he loved in the place he loved. His cause of death has not been revealed. Okay, so the iconic filmmaker spent decades as a leading actor in Hollywood, with some of his most notable projects being 1969's Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, 1973's The Sting, 1975's 3 Days of the Condor, 1976's All the President's Men, and 1984's The Natural. Okay, so he also worked with a number of Hollywood's favorite leading ladies, including Jane Fonda in 1967's Barefoot in the Park, Barbra Streisand in 1973's The Way We Were, and Meryl Streep in 1985's Out of Africa. Alright, so Redford transitioned to directing in 1980 with his debut film, Ordinary People, winning major critical and commercial success. It also won him an Oscar for Best Director. In 2002, he was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Honorary Oscar. Okay, so then in 2016, President Barack Obama handed Redford the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Okay, so Redford is also known for founding the Sundance Institute, a nonprofit dedicated to showcasing independent filmmakers. In 1981, he took the helm of a struggling film festival in 1984, which became the iconic film festival in Park City, Utah, we know and love today. In 2012, he reportedly expressed his distaste for how popular the festival became. Alright, so this is really, really sad, man, that Robert Redford has passed away, because personally, I feel like Robert Redford, man, was such a gem. He was filled with so much gold in his own heart, and he definitely was an icon. He helped so many actors in the Hollywood business, especially Barbra Streisand, Meryl Streep, and man, he really was really good friends with them. I think that he was definitely that type of guy that was like the teacher of all the actors. And let's also remember that he really made our day by all of the films that he got to do, by all of the films that he got to direct especially, and so forth. And he was, somebody that, of course, was not afraid to be himself out in the cameras. He was just out there. And he was like definitely one of the people that was so realistic in all levels. Like, he didn't really care about the fact that he would say what he would say. He would just say it. And he was also that kind of guy that, a lot of people were like so admiring for, because a lot of people were like, okay, well, one day I'll be just like Robert Redford, because Robert Redford really was such a sweet, talented, and good actor. Okay, he was literally so lucky to be sharing a screen with Barbra Streisand, with Meryl Streep, definitely with those actresses, and especially with the one and only Jane Fonda, who, by the way, is such a great actress, because with those three ladies, that man really made a really good team, and he really made successful films that were definitely meant to remember forever. Okay, now I can't imagine how heartbroken Jane Fonda is, how heartbroken Barbra Streisand is, how heartbroken Meryl Streep is, just having to learn that this gem of a man has passed away. Okay, so with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this man deserves all of his flowers. He deserves a lot more recognition. He already deserved a bunch of flowers and a bunch of recognition when he was alive, but he deserves it even more now that he has passed away, and now that we are going to be remembering him with his movies. It's so hard to believe, man, that this man has passed away because of all of those things, and I don't really think that there's going to be a Robert Redford that is going to be as good, as amazing as this man was. And honestly, it's just going to be so hard for everybody to process that this man has passed away. Honestly, I really want to know what the cause of his death was, because I really am wondering already what made him pass away, because to me it seemed like he was perfectly fine. Like, I didn't hear anything about Alzheimer's. I didn't hear anything about cancer or anything that bad from him. Honestly, I just learned that Robert Redford passed away, just like everybody else did. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce Willis were to pass away anytime soon, because, I mean, no shade, but the man is already going through a situation where he has Alzheimer's and he doesn't remember people at times and so forth, and he is being taken care of by his family. But as for this man, Robert Redford, I mean, it just surprises me. He seemed like such a healthy man, and now all of a sudden he's gone. Oh my God, but anyways, may Robert Redford rest in peace. He'll forever be remembered and he'll forever be in our hearts. All right, now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Cardi B. So Cardi B co-hosted Today with Jenna and Friends just today, and they got right to it, gushing over details about her romance with NFL star Stefon Diggs. So apparently it was love at first sight. Cardi tells Jenna she thought the Pro Bowler WR was cute. Their mutual friend group hooked them up, and that was that. Okay, so that was pretty much all she had to say. When Jenna asked what her life is like with Diggs, Cardi describes it with the flirty facial expression as opposed to actual words. So Diggs is back with the new team, the New England Patriots, after recovering from an ACL tear, and Cardi's album is dropping this Friday. The marketing campaign hasn't made it possible for her to attend a game just yet, but she's planning on it. Alright, so this is really insane, ladies and gentlemen, that Cardi B is over here expressing her own damn love life on the Today Show with Jenna, because first and foremost, Cardi B is a crazy chick. I believe that she would appear in like night shows like with Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, because that girl has no filter with her own damn mouth, and I don't mean it shady. Second of all, I'm glad that Cardi B is with Stefon Diggs and that she's happy with Stefon Diggs and that she was introduced to Stefon Diggs at the end of the day, because, I mean, at the end of the day, Cardi B deserves to have a beautiful love life after that monstrous relationship that she had with Offset, which, by the way, was just so darn unbelievably horrendous, because, I mean, I remember that the both of them were fighting too much and they were getting into too much drama together and so forth. It was like a never-ending thing. And now I'm not hearing anything bad off of Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, which I believe is a really good sign that maybe this relationship is actually going to last and maybe there's going to be wedding bells sooner or later. I'm just hoping and I'm just thinking. Okay, but it's just so really cool though how, you know, things are really going out really smooth for her, especially because I know that her album Am I the Drama is going to be released this Friday, and she's going to, you know, release it with a lot of calmness. She's going to release it with so much happiness because she knows that she has support, not just from her marketing team, but also from her own boo, Stefon Diggs, that's going to be there for her, even though, of course, he's going to be in a football game, I'm pretty sure, this Friday, but yet again, he's going to be there for her in a way where he's going to support it on social media and is going to give it a listen. And it's amazing because, you know, that's what relationships are for at the end of the day. And let's also remember that, I mean, even though Cardi B is really busy with her stuff right now to be attending football games, I think that she's going to have the time eventually throughout the fall season and throughout maybe next year to be attending one of Stefon Diggs' games, because there are a bunch of football games, and I know that the Super Bowl is coming up really soon, and I'm pretty sure that maybe Stefon Diggs is going to have a participation in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure. It depends if his team is going to make it to that route. And then, you know, it's going to be like, okay, well, I'm here. I mean, even though I was busy with my own music in the first place and I was, you know, too busy promoting it, I'm here because, I mean, just look what happened with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I mean, Taylor Swift, she was too busy to be attending any of Travis Kelce's games, because she was too busy promoting her music and also touring for her music, which, by the way, the tour was like over a year long, I think. But yet again, she found a way to squeeze in some time to be attending Travis Kelce's games. Okay, so this could definitely be like a new Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing in between Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, you know? And maybe when Cardi B goes out and tours for this album, then Stephon Diggs is going to have some time, or, you know, find some time to you know, get in and support Cardi B on her tour. So, I mean, we're seeing it 50-50 here. So anyways, Cardi B, you're amazing, you're a legend, and also be careful with the twerking and with the dancing on cars, because when I got to see that yesterday on TMZ, Jesus Christ, I was scared for you, girl. Oh, but anyways, on to the next topic. Now let's talk about something pretty crazy. So apparently 2025 Emmy Awards Hollywood bankrupts donation for Boys and Girls Club, and Nate Bargatze, CBS, still pays up. Okay, so apparently, President and CEO of Boys and Girls Club of America tells TMZ that, "What an incredible night. Our heartfelt thanks to Nate Bargatze, CBS, and the Emmy Awards team for supporting Boys and Girls Clubs in such a big way. It was a true honor for our club kids to share the stage with the night's winners, especially knowing some of our alumni have gone on to become Emmy winners themselves." So, we are also deeply grateful to all who kept their speeches short in the spirit of this fun challenge and to maximize the impact for our young people. The generous $350,000 donation from CBS and Nate is a powerful investment in the dreams and great futures of millions of young people nationwide. So, Hollywood's elite are usually known for their charitable contributions, but Sunday night they took a whole lot more than they gave because they bankrupted $100,000 pot meant for charity. Okay, so here's the deal. In the lead up to the 2025 Primetime Emmy Awards, host Nate Bargatze told multiple outlets he had a way to keep the show on track in terms of time. Okay, so his plan was simple. He was putting up $100,000 for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and each time an Emmy winner went up to give a speech, they had a chance to add to the total. Okay, so this is really insane. I honestly do understand as to why all of this money was being given away, because it was a charity, what was going on for all of the poor kids out there that are suffering and that, of course, need that money. And I mean, I don't really think that it's a really big deal that all of that money was being given away because of that. And also because let's remember that Hollywood has a bunch of money. Okay, we have multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. We got Lauren Sanchez. We got Jeff Bezos. We got Kanye West. We got Taylor Swift. We got Rihanna. We got Ariana Grande. We got Selena Gomez. And most of those artists are billionaires. And of course, they're able to fulfill a bunch of charities and a bunch of other things. So, I mean, I don't really think that anybody is technically bankrupt here. I don't really think that the Emmys is bankrupt. I don't think that Hollywood is bankrupt. I don't think that CBS is bankrupt, period. Okay. And let's also remember that these networks, these companies, they are owned by billionaires anyways. So there's also that. Okay, so with all of that being said, I mean, we are just sitting here making a big deal that it is actually the end of the world after all of these donations were being made, as if we really don't know who owns these networks and all of these companies, and as if we are dumb enough into thinking that, you know, we're talking about poor networks or we're talking about poor people that are donating here, when that is definitely the opposite of that. Okay, like, it's just more of the commotion that is being made here out of all of this than the actual reality of it all. All right. Like if we were to be seeing a bunch of bankruptcies going on, I'm sure that CBS and I'm sure that many other stuff like the Emmys and a bunch of other things in Hollywood would be shutting down. And I mean, we already had Stephen Colbert get finalized for like May of the upcoming year, but it wasn't because of financial decisions like it said it was. I believe it was because of the president, because, the president was always in disagreement of Stephen Colbert because Stephen Colbert is anti-Trump. So that's a different story, okay? And I believe that show, by the way, is on CBS. That's a whole different story. But let's put the main focus here that CBS is not bankrupt. Nothing is bankrupt. Okay, and let's also put the main focus here that if let's say a network were to ever get bankrupt, let's say. I mean, I'm sure that a network would find a way to find somebody to take full ownership of the company, or maybe, have the network maybe purchase another network or something like that in order to save that company. So that way the company won't end up getting bankrupt after all. And then there will be more, less commotion. And of course, everybody's jobs would be saved. Okay, like, come on, like, we really are just, definitely ridiculous here. So anyways, on to the next topic. So let's talk about an update about the Charlie Kirk assassination. So Utah law enforcement personnel are set to hold a press conference just today after charges were filed against Taylor Robinson, who is suspected of fatally shooting Charlie Kirk. Officials are expected to give details on each of the counts. So this update comes less than a week after Robinson was apprehended as the main suspect in the conservative pundit's assassination. He was booked on suspicion of committing 3 crimes in the case, including aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. Okay, so Robinson was formally charged Tuesday with Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray, previously noting that they're in the very early stages of the investigation. All right, so Gray noted the preliminary charges would likely reflect Robinson's booking, and as TMZ reported, President Donald Trump announced on Fox and Friends Friday morning a suspect had been arrested after a days-long manhunt. Robinson turned himself in Thursday night. Okay, so this is really insane that there are still investigations going on here with the whole entire shooting, because I thought that by now there was already that investigation going on by the fullest, and that, it was already just so deeply confirmed that Taylor Robinson was the shooter of Charlie Kirk. Because, I mean, it's already been almost a week since the shooting happened, and I think that what's going to be found in this investigation, in my opinion, is that maybe there are going to be more videos of more surveillance footage. And that is if there was a camera in the conference room where Charlie Kirk was giving the, speech and where he got shot. And if that doesn't end up being the case, then I believe that there's going to be more investigations in terms of the fact that maybe they're going to see where Charlie Kirk went, according to other cameras that were around the school in that very moment or before the moment of the shooting. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe this is really good evidence that this guy for sure was the one that ended up shooting Charlie Kirk. And maybe especially because of how well packed he was with the guns and God knows what else he had, that could also be a really good evidence to really know that he was the one. And then from there, maybe they will also ask him a bunch of questions, and they're gonna make him be honest on his questions on where he was at on that day and exactly where did he enter in order to get into the room where Charlie Kirk was at and shoot him and so forth. And it's gonna be maybe a long session of questions that they're gonna ask him, so that way he could end up basically being seen as the guy that actually shot Charlie Kirk, because indeed he would end up actually being the real suspect, so that's what I think could be the case here, because according to what I am reading here, I think that right now they are in the early investigations where they're like, okay, well, for now, we're just gonna see what he had in his bag, and then from there, we're just gonna see if he was, I don't know, basically making phone calls to somebody in alliance to Charlie Kirk, or maybe, I don't know, we're gonna see. I mean, they already investigated his phone and they already know that he had a gun with him, but I mean, they're gonna make maybe a little deeper investigations on those things probably, in order to actually know, starting now, on how the shooting happened. And from there, it's going to be all chaos, because then from there, I believe that's where they're going to see, more evidence and more evidence on this guy being the shooter of Charlie Kirk. Okay, I mean, it's so sad, man, that unfortunately freedom of speech is definitely not something that is safe nowadays, because of people like this that go off and shoot others. And it's just one of those things where unfortunately people cannot even make events like this where they are expressing themselves in any way, especially their own differences. Okay, so anyways, this is going to be really insane, that I can definitely confirm to you. And anyways, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and have a lovely Tuesday. Peace.